Hey, this is Scene Detail. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my predictions for World Series of Fighting 9, Carl versus Palhares, which happens on March 29th. The main card will be on NBC Sports Network, and a lot of different websites, including the World Series of Fighting website, is going to stream. They usually stream part of the prelims. Just a reminder too, I don't know too much about a lot of these prelim fighters, so I'll tell you when I'm just kind of flipping a coin here. Okay, let's get started though. Steve Carl fights Rousimar Palhares. Well, Palhares has a 15-6 record, 12 wins by submission, 3 wins by decision. He also has 3 losses by KO or TKO. He's 34 years old, training out of Team Nogueira. He is one of the top Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners pretty much in the world. One of the strongest leg lock experts out there. Most recently getting a leg lock on the very tough and durable Mike Pierce. But he held it too long and got cut from the UFC because of that. He's just a really strong guy. I mean, you can see it just on a physical basis. The guy's really strong. And he actually has some pretty good wrestling, too. Stand-up's kind of average, and he seems to be a bit susceptible to ground and pound. He also seems to have mental issues, too. That's kind of like... And you see it a lot. The Dan Miller fight, he like knocks him down and like starts cheering. Or against Marquardt, where he just kind of like says something to the ref, gets ground and pounded, and it's just like... It's just some weird like mental stuff with him sometimes. Holding leg locks too long, another thing, you know. Steve Carl, 21-3 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 16 wins by sub, 29 years old on a 7-fight win streak, most recently beating Josh Burkman by, I believe it was triangle choke in the 3rd or 4th round. Trains at Hard Drive MMA. Other guys that train there would be, I want to say Jared Downing, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's Mauler. Jeez, I forgot who trains at Hard Drive right now. But he does have solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills. He's a good scrambler. Stand-up's good too. It's average, you know. I remember he actually fought, I think Lima and Douglas Lima in Bellator's. Lima's first one in Bellator, and he actually wobbled him. He made him do the stanky dance. You know, the one time I saw Palhares have really good stand-up though was against Dan Miller. It was actually pretty effective, using like head kicks and whatnot. I'd say Carl probably has the advantage on the feet. Palhares, you gotta give it to him on the ground. I mean, this guy submitted David Branch, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He submitted Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts with leg locks before. He's like the black belt's black belt. You know what I mean? You know, I gotta go with Rousimar Palhares to win this one. And be the new Bellator welterweight champion. Things that scare me here. Cardio. If this goes into later rounds, it has to favor Steve Carl. You know, he had a pretty gritty fight with Josh Burkman. I don't know if Palhares has that type of thing in his that type of cardio to go that many rounds and to go that hard. Mental issues. You know, like I said, mid-fight, something weird just happens with Palhares. Susceptibility to ground and pound. You saw this in the Alan Belcher fight and the Nate Marquardt fight. It's like the minute he gets pounded from top position, it's like, wait, we're not doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu anymore or something. It's really odd. But he has shown susceptibility to ground and pound. Regardless, Rousimar Palhares, probably by leg lock, for the win. Next fight after that, Marlon Moraes fights Josh Rettinghouse. Rettinghouse has a 10-2 record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 6 wins by sub. He also has 2 losses by submission. 24 years old on a 3-fight win streak. I think most recently he beat Alexis Vila. He's a good wrestler. Is solid ground and pound. This fight is for the inaugural bantamweight title. Marlon Moraes, 12-4 record with 1 draw, 5 wins by KO or TKO, 3 wins by sub. He also has 2 losses by KO or TKO and 2 losses by sub. He's 25 years old on a 6-fight win streak. Training at Ricardo Almeida Jiu-Jitsu, along the likes of like Frankie Edgar. And I believe Edson Barboza trains there now, if I'm not mistaken. Strong Muay Thai. This guy's leg kicks, if you saw, I forgot the name of the last guy he fought. His leg kicks were finding the mark like every time. His Muay Thai's good. He knocked out Tyson Nam with punches. Wait, no, was it a kick? I think it was a kick. I have to think. All I remember is he knocked him out cold. His takedown defense is improving. His overall grappling, too, is improving. Yeah, I think Marlon Moraes should win this one. Better stand-up. I think he'll be able to defend the takedowns and beat Rettinghouse up on the feet. Okay, next fight, Yushin Okami fights I can't pronounce his name. Svetlozar Savov. Well, Savov has a 12-4 record, 3 wins by KO or TKO, 8 wins by sub. He's 25 years old. One thing that's good about this fight is Okami has a tendency, his chin's not the greatest, but from what I've seen, Savov's not the guy to really test his chin too much. Guys like Lombard knocked him down, Alan Belcher, even Buddy Roberts was getting really good in a stand-up against Okami. He got knocked out by Bosch and Jacare as well. But Okami, 29-8 record, 10 wins by KO or TKO, 4 wins by sub. He also has 4 losses by KO or TKO. He's 32 years old, big for 185. He is a grinder with good wrestling. He's actually a judo black belt. But you see, I've seen him do like double leg takedowns and whatnot, you know. Solid takedown defense. The only guy that I've seen him really get taken down at well by was Chael Sonnen. Otherwise, Munoz and a lot of guys that tried to take Okami down. Even Marquardt. Marquardt couldn't really. I think he took him down, but he just got back to his feet right away. Solid takedown defense. He has good top control. His stand-up's actually pretty decent offensively because he uses straight punches. He has a good jab and cross. I mean, that's his go-to strikes. And he uses them very well. They are very straight. His problem lately has been his chin. This guy if he's not finished, he's getting dropped a good amount of times. Like I said, I don't think Savov is the type of guy to test his chin. So I'll go for Yushin Okami to win this one. Next fight, we got Josh Burkman versus Tyler Stinson. I gotta say, this is actually one of the harder fights to choose for me. I went back and forth here. Tyler Stinson, 27-9 record, 19 wins by KO or TKO, 6 wins by sub. He also has 5 losses by submission. He's 20 years old, and he's a 6'3" welterweight. He is a very tall welterweight on a 4-fight win streak. Training out of Gruetzemacher. He's a solid boxer and has a really good chin. You really saw his chin, actually, when he fought Jordan Mean, man. Jordan Mean just, boxed him up bad. I mean, Stinson, I say good boxing because he throws a lot of punches and whatnot. It's solid, but it's not that technically savvy. He did manage to drop Tarek Safadine, though, when they fought in Strikeforce. But it's really effective. That's the thing. Burkman, 26-10 record, 6 wins by KO or TKO, 10 wins by sub. He also has 6 losses by submission. He's 33 years old. And opposed to Tyler Stinson, 6'3", Burkman is 5'10". Trains out of Pit Elevated with the likes of Court McGee, Ramsey Nijam, Steven Seiler. He's a really good all-arounder. He has good stand-up, his wrestling's solid, and his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu solid as well. I want to say that I'm going to go with Burkman here. I just think he's just a more well-rounded fighter. Gotta wonder if he can rely on his wrestling and his grappling if the striking doesn't go his way. But it'll be interesting. And Josh Burkman's striking has been improving. I mean, knocked out Aaron Simpson. He's really well known for choking out John Fitch with the guillotine and just letting go. It was really cool. Walked off. I'll go with Burkman to win this one. Okay, next one. I thought Ozzy Dugulubgov fights Johnny Nunez. Johnny Nunez has a 4-0 undefeated record, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 1 win by sub. Trains out of Syndicate MMA with the likes of like Mike Pyle. A lot of guys are actually trained out of Syndicate. I wish I could name more. I just remember Mike Pyle and Roxanne Mataferi, but I know there's a lot more. I did manage to check out one fight of his. It may have been an old fight, but what I saw from him was that he was a good, effective wrestler. His stand-up still needs some work. He was getting tagged. You know, he's kind of he's really aggressive, and he's really aggressive. In the fight I saw, he's really aggressive at getting front chokes. I couldn't find much else footage of him. I think this is one of his amateur fights too. Ozzy Dugulubgov, 5-1 record, 2 wins by KO TKO, 2 wins by sub. He's 25 years old. On a 4-fight win streak, training out of Hento Gracie's. I remember this guy's fight. The fight I remember seeing him and impressing me was his fight with Chris Wade, who's a wrestler. In that fight, he showed some strong kicks, strong stand-up, some overall heavy hands. Which kind of worked against him because I think he puts everything he has into his strikes, which could work for him if it lands clean. But otherwise, he looked like he I don't know if he gassed out per se, but he definitely was slowing down. I liked his takedowns from the clinch. His overall Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game was good. And against Chris Wade, I liked his guard passing ability as well. I'll go with Ozzy Dugulubgov to win this one. Coming to the prelims, you got Shane Kruchten versus Mike Corey. Mike Corey has a 12-3 record with 1 draw, 1 TKO, and 6 submissions. He's 30 years old, training out of Team Curran. I remember watching this guy in Bellator. He was big for the weight class. He was kind of a grinder with a really good clinch. Shane Kruchten, he's an 11-2 record, 3 wins by KO or TKO, 6 wins by sub. 11-fight win streak. He's a good wrestler, training out of the arena. I believe Chris Cyborg actually trains out of the arena among KJ Nunez, if I'm not mistaken. I remember Kruchten was actually he had a collegiate wrestling career I don't know or accolades. There you go. And I believe he trained with Rashad Evans for his fight against Thiago Silva, from what I read. You kind of have the grappler versus grappler here. I'm going to go with Shane Kruchten to win this one. Mike Corey, though, good fighter, like I said. I think Kruchten has this one. He's a good wrestler himself, you know what I mean? Next right after that, John Gunderson fights Chris Gruetzemacher. Well, Gunderson has a 13-15 record with 2 draws. 4 wins by KO or TKO, 27 wins by sub. He has 2 losses by KO or TKO and 6 losses by sub. He's 35 years old. On a 2-fight losing streak, training out of Syndicate MMA. He's a good grappler, good submissions. Chris Gruetzemacher, 11-1 record, 6 wins by KO or TKO, 3 wins by sub. He's 27 years old, on a 10-fight win streak, training out of the MMA lab. Other guys that train out of the MMA lab would be Alex Caceres and Benson Henderson, among a lot of others. Yatsen Meza, among others. I'll go with Chris Gruetzemacher to win that one. Next one, I don't know anything about these guys, so I'm just gonna coin toss here. Sean Cantor fights Bryson Hansen. Bryson Hansen has a 6-1 record, 4 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by decision. Cantor 1-0 undefeated record, with that 1 win being by decision. Trains out of One Fight Team. He has a 3-1 amateur record with 1 win, 1 TKO win as an amateur. I don't know what to go with here. I'll show you Sean Cantor. Next one I thought, Phil Dace fights Danny Davis. Danny Davis has an 8-8 record with 1 draw, 2 wins by KO or TKO, 2 wins by sub. He also has 5 losses by submission. He's 31 years old on a 2-fight win streak. Phil Dace, 9-4 record, 6 wins by KO or TKO, 1 win by sub. He's 28 years old, training out of Syndicate MMA. I'll go Phil Dace to win this one. Next fight after that, Brenson Hansen fights Boostayre Nefarios, a.k.a. Marvin Eastman Jr. Hansen has a 5-2 record with 1 win by KO, 4 wins by decision. He's 24 years old, training at Extreme Couture. I actually don't know much about these guys. I just know that Nefarios is Marvin Eastman's son. Nefarios has a 2-1 record with 1 win by TKO, 1 win by decision. I'll go with Boostayre Nefarios to win this one. And finally, Guardado fights Jimmy Spicuzza. Spicuzza has a 2-0 undefeated record with 1 win by submission, 1 win by decision. Guardado has a 2-0 undefeated record with 1 win by TKO, 1 win by sub. Trains out of Extreme Couture. I'll go Guardado to win that one. And let's recap. On the main card, I have Rousimar Palhares beating Steve Carl. Marlon Moraes over Josh Rettinghouse. Yushin Okami over Svetlozar Savov. Josh Burkman beating Tyler Stinson. And Ozzy Dugulubgov beating Johnny Nunez. On the prelims, I have Shane Kruchten over Mike Corey. Chris Gruetzemacher over John Gunderson. Sean Cantor beating Bryson Hansen. Phil Dace beating Danny Davis. Boostayre Nefarios beating Brenson Hansen. And Guardado beating Jimmy Spicuzza. So yeah, that's it for my World Series of Fighting 9 Carl versus Palhares predictions. If you have any comments, just leave them below. And that's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.